That was Imperial Teen and Your One here on the Sweet Factory on YouTube.com. My name is Billy Hot Chocolate. Saw that video set to the courtship of Jim and Pam. Um, and, oh man, a little confession here in the studio in the booth. Um, I watched it, as I got ready, as I was going through the set just now, and I was about to come back here to you guys, and then I was like, I gotta watch it again, and I played it again because I can't that year, the year of Jim and Pam, man, season two, it's too much. It, eh, it rules me, you know. Um, yeah, and I don't know, I'm really glad those guys have a baby now. Is that? I just want to say that I'm happy that that happened. Um, but yeah, it's funny. I was watching that. I also realized sometimes I think about like you know how many times I've fallen in love or what it's like or when the last time I fell in love was and typical things you chronicle in a day and watching it I was like, oh, I think I sort of fell in love with Jim and Pam. Like the Jim and Pam's falling in love with each other sort of took the place of my need to fall in love in 2007. That was that did it. That yeah, because I used to I'll look at you know what screw it. Stay tuned. I got it. I got another Pam Beasley video coming your way in the last set. I just figured it out. I had one spot open. I got it. I used to do push-ups to this song every day and be like, oh, like I am gonna make it work. I'm gonna, yes, yes, love it, love. I don't know what I was. I don't know. Here. I'll sum it up. I'll sum it up as. Um, at some point that year, I think in the spring of that year, when I'm deep into this madness, I was walking around the West Village. I think I was sort of on a date. Sometimes you don't know. And um, there was like some video cameras outside this deli, this bodega, whatever, in the West Village, and I just figured it was like an NYU project or that whatnot. It didn't look like anything huge, and then in the store, and I think the girl I was with was probably getting coconut water or some nonsense like that, and yeah, and then all of a sudden, uh, I th- I think I passed by someone that looks vaguely familiar, and I can't place them, and then I hear a voice behind me, and I'm like, oh my god, I know that voice. That is Jim's voice, and it was Jim and Karen, Rashida Jones. They were filming. They were on a date in New York, or what would be on the show, and they were filming as I was in the store. And oh, I know they were giving a testimonial, and they were like, "We second acted at Spam a lot," and I was like, "Oh no, my God, that's totally something Jim would say. That's totally this is Jim. That Jim Halpert. Jim Halpert is behind me. What are you doing with Karen? Get rid of her." Little did I know this is where it was all going down in his head. So anyway, but um, so yeah, so I just kept looking at bananas in the background, and I was like, all I wanted was like the back of my head somehow to be in what it didn't it wasn't about that, but here's what was really exciting. I realized like I was just like, oh, I was glowing. I was glowing, and I realized because this is what I was doing push-ups for all this time is that I for a second I crossed over. I was no longer in this prison. I was in the office world. I was on their plane. I went through Stargate, Hello, Michael Scott. um. So yeah. So and Imperial Teen. That's one of my favorite songs. I love those guys. You might know them as the band that does "I said you." Ayuhu, ayuhu. Before that, pop culture all abound in that set. We had Listomania, one of the best homemade videos out there. And I say that, I don't just say that because it was made by a dear friend of mine, Sarah up in Rochester. Love it. Did they take down your video, Sarah? I was searching for the one through you, but I don't know. I know they've come for you more than once, but I couldn't figure out which one was your account. So sorry if you're losing ad revenue on that. I know that's why you did it. If you watch that video and don't feel special connection to life, hey, maybe it's time to do a little internal check-in. And we get things started with Jim Carroll and people who died. And Jim Carroll, by the way, has a new novel, his first novel, published posthumously. I always say that word wrong because that's a word I read for many years, more than ever said. So I was always like posthumously. And then I was like, oh no, there's all these words that I just read them all the time, but I don't connect them to words that I've actually heard. And then someone's like, posthumously. And I'm like, oh, that's the girl from that other show. Yeah. So yeah, new novel. I'm excited. I'm heading down to the library to place a hold. And that video was people who died the summer of '09, which incidentally is when Jim Carroll died. Not far from me, here in Inwood, a couple neighborhoods over, where he grew up and then lived in his later years. Like me, hopefully. Well, we'll see. We'll see. And I guess relatively these are my later years. And yeah, so it's celebrity deaths of '09, and I love that it gave more weight to the death of DJ AM than Michael Jackson. All right, so anyway, this is a really special video. We get some good ones today. These are really, I'm happy with the selection of, of videos going on. Yeah. Just glad if you're a person who just listens to the show, as I often recommend, put it on a tab and just listen. It's just as good. It's a great radio show. Just glance over when this next video. You don't have to watch the whole thing. You'll get it, but it's a special bird. My name is Billy Hot Chocolate, and you are listening to the Sweet Factory here on the BHC Fun Channel.